Is it on? I'm good. I'm live. I'm ready. All right, shalom. So this week we're still in First Samuel. We're in First Samuel, and we're in part 2. Because last week, what ended up happening is we got as far as we could go, and time ran out. So we're gonna do First Samuel part 2, just to recap a little bit from last week. Last week we saw Saul being anointed, and Saul was given how that would happen. And we talked a bit last week about understanding the call and how certain things happen so that it confirms in the future when we doubt what our call is. Okay, so the details of that Samuel gave Saul were very, very, very intricate, so that when he went back to look at what was actually being required of him in his position as captain over Yah's army, that he would know that he was called this way. And so this week we're going to see why that is so, because when Yah puts him or chooses him in front of the people, you'll see why it's important that it happened the way that it did. Okay, and then this week will be a little bit different because I actually have like a lesson within my lesson, as I normally do, but I'm going to really draw out and kind of gather all this together, because the story is going to start to pick up a lot, and you're going to learn some negative sides of Saul's qualities. But up until this point, what we're experiencing about Saul is positive. And one of the things that the Most High put in my spirit today, when I was in my meditation, is that the reason why the story is written this way is because he needs us to know that it started off good. Like, it didn't start off bad. Yah didn't pick bad. He didn't pick Saul because he was bad. We know, it's just like anything else. When we know the whole story, it makes it difficult to focus on the good in this part of the story. But Saul is good in this part of the story. And Scripture has gone over and said that on multiple occasions. So that's something that we want to be mindful of in this. Also, for people online, you're here with us in this room. People, I can see out the window that people are going to come in. So we're going to kind of, if I do pause a little bit, just bear with us. But I'm going to try to stay focused as people come into the room. But I'm going to give some directives right now. Can we move these chairs over here so that people can sit if they want to sit here? And then people who want to be in chairs, can we move the chairs on this side? Because there's a rug on this side. And then people want to sit down and sit on that side. And then next week what I'll do is I'm going to get some, no, I saw those floor pillows.
Yes.
You know, the ones that like
The
World
bohemian
Market
style.
Yeah, and I can just throw those out here next week for people, because we have a small room. And the reason why I choose this room and not the room out there is for a couple of reasons. One, it's so open back here. It's intimate, it's quiet, and we can actually engage in a way that is conducive for this space. So the sisters online are in this space. They get to get all the formalities and lack thereof in this space. So for those of us who were here last week, we're kind of gonna just kind of chill for a second. And I'm gonna get to where we're gonna start. We're gonna start in 1 Samuel, and we're gonna start actually at verse 8, and we're gonna try to make it through. I said the rest of the chapter, but we'll see what happens. Okay. What I can do while they're coming is I can read up to where we were last week. You guys want to do that? Somebody want to read, or do you guys mind if I read?
Starting on 2 Samuel.
I'm gonna start at 1 Samuel chapter 10, verse 1.
Okay.
Then Samuel took a vial of oil and poured it upon his head, this is Saul's head, and kissed him and said, "It is not because YHWH hath anointed thee to be captain over his inheritance. When thou art departed from me today, then thou shalt find 2 men by Rachel or Rachel's sepulchre in the border of Benjamin at Zelzah. And they will say unto thee, The asses which thou wentest to seek are found, and lo, thy father hath left the care of the asses, and sorroweth for you, saying, What shall I do for my son? Then shalt thou go on forward from thence, and thou shalt come to the plain of Tabor. And there shall meet thee 3 men going up to Elohim to Bethel, one carrying 3 kids, another carrying 3 loaves of bread, and another carrying a bottle of wine. And they will salute thee, and give thee 2 loaves of bread, which thou shalt receive of their hands. After that thou shalt come to the hill of Elohim, where is the garrison of the Philistines. And it shall come to pass, when thou art come thither to the city, that thou shalt meet a company of prophets, coming down from the high place with a psaltery, and a tabret, and a pipe, and a harp before them, and they shall prophesy. And the spirit of Yahuwah will come upon thee, and thou shalt prophesy with them, and shall be turned into another man. And it shall be when these signs are come unto thee, that thou do as occasion serve thee, for Elohim is with thee. And thou shalt go down before me to Gilgal, and behold, I will come down unto thee, to offer burnt offerings, and to sacrifice sacrifices of peace offerings. 7 days shalt thou tarry, till I come to thee, and show thee what thou shalt do. So we went over that last week, and we specifically looked at what it looked like, what was happening. What did it mean to be turned into a new man? This week, I'm going to give you a little more detail as concerning us, what that should look like from us to other people. Something that stood out to me this night when I was reading over that is in verse 7 when he says, "And let it be when these signs are come unto thee, that thou do as occasion serve thee, because Yah is with you." It's very interesting that oftentimes once, and I hate to use this term like this because it's so over sensationalized, but once the spirit of Yah dwells in a person, especially in a moment where Yah has given you that space or in a time, oftentimes we're fearful of doing what Yah has told us to do in that space. So he has to almost like tell him, this is actually happening, this is not fake, and when it happens, do what you feel provoked to do because Yah is telling you to do that. Because oftentimes there's that war between us, the man inside of us, the carnal man, and then the person, the spirit man, and we don't often do what Yah tells us to do because we're conflicting. And so he gives them ahead of time, don't be conflicted. This is what's supposed to happen. Do it. Because he's been turned into another man. And last week we talked about this idea of the contents of us being poured out, emptied, and Yah pouring in himself. So you're not acting on your own will at this point. You're acting because he's telling you to act. You are chosen. Do what he tells you to do and trust it. Okay. So verse 8, and it says, "Thou shalt go down before me." So once the signs are given and the encounter happens, then it's time to put the prophecy to the test. Because we talked about last week that a prophet is confirmed as a prophet when his prophecy comes true. A prophet is also confirmed as a false prophet when his prophecy does not come true and he gets killed. So we talked about last week how prophecies are not done lightly, and we went over the whole thing of like what a person says, and I'm prophesying this over you. So if it don't come true, I can kill you. Right. Like hold your tongue, hold your mule before you start speaking over people if Yah has not instructed you to speak. And I think that was Saul's fear when he says, and when this happens, let it happen because Yah is with you. Because he's like, I know what happens to people who prophesy amiss. I'm going to go prophesy with these prophets. I'm not a prophet, and I'm going to say something, and then they're going to turn around and kill me. You're trying to kill me. You're trying to get me killed. This is all a joke, and I see the part where I'm supposed to die right here. Doesn't it feel like that, though, when Yah calls us to do stuff? It's like, all this, I'm going to be called to do all this, and I'm going to do something stupid, and then I'm going to die. Why are you even asking me to do this? And so he reassures him, I'm with you. Do what I'm telling you to do. I'm not setting you up for failure. Because you can feel like that sometimes, right? So how the test goes. The test works a little something like this. Once the signs are given, right, the prophecy is put to the test, and the prophet steps away so that the prophecy can be performed. That's the prophet steps away so that the prophecy can be performed. One of the things we'll read and see throughout Scripture is that false prophets are always right in the ear of the king or of the person that they're leading falsely. They never step away. They're never too far away because if something, they manufacture the prophecy. So like Pharaoh, right? When Moshe came to Pharaoh and he's like bringing these plagues, and then Pharaoh calls his magicians and his prophets and his soothsayers, and he has them replicate the same thing that Yah is saying, right? So that his ear stays inclined to the false prophets, and he's not listening to what Yah is saying. His heart continually gets hard. When Yah sends a prophet, he sends a prophet, and he has the prophet, come in. Oh, Shalom. Hi. Hello. And he has the prophet prophesy, and then the prophet has to be removed. Why? So that he's not micromanaging, if you will, how the prophecy comes to be fulfilled. So Samuel does not go with Saul on this journey. It's for Saul to know that what Yah has told Samuel to say to him is going to come to be. Okay? The second part, the prophecy is performed for the belief of the one who is receiving the prophecy. The prophecy is not for the prophet.
Right.
The prophecy is for the person that the prophecy is being, this is such a tongue twister, prophesied to, right? That's who the prophecy is for. Okay? So Samuel is the mouthpiece, but he is going to join with him after the prophecy has been confirmed. Okay? Third part, the prophet comes to either confirm the prophecy that it actually came to pass, or to be killed. Because it would have been the job of Saul and whoever else at that moment to kill Samuel if the prophecy did not come to be. So the prophet also has to show up. So this idea that people can prophesy and then just walk away and like never come back and it doesn't come to be, and you're like, so what about that prophecy that I was going to be rich and I was going to have, and I was called and set apart and the Most High had something special for me, and now I'm going through you know what, and where are you so I can stone you for getting me all pumped up? And actually the Most High was telling me he was going to break me down and take me through a bunch of things so that he could do his work. Where are those people? Right. So a true prophet comes and stands, if you will, as a witness to his own prophecy in the end to see if it comes to pass. So he tells him he's going to show up. All right. Verse 9, huh?
No, I said accountable.
Yes. And it was so that when he turned his back to go, verse 9, from Samuel, Elohim gave him another heart. And all those signs came to pass that day. Okay. So we're looking at what another heart looks like. Oh, I have something so cool. And they've been down here every week and I didn't even realize it. So, anybody who doesn't know Hebrew, this one is a two-part one. All the rest of them, are they all two parts? One of them doesn't have a back.
One doesn't have a back.
Okay, so give me the one that doesn't have a back, but the rest of them have a back and a front. And so, pass them around. They're laminated.
So nice.
You can, I don't have dry erase markers to kids took them, but I normally do.
Oh, sorry.
And you can write on these. And for the people online, you can download this under at Her Royal Roots under, I think, Word Studies or Tools. I'll put the link in the description after the lesson is over. Anybody in here, you guys can take one of these if you want, or you can leave it here so that you know it's here when you come back next week. It's up to you. All right, so this will help a little bit when I'm doing these little scrabbles that maybe everybody doesn't know, because now you have it in front of you. Okay, so we're going to look at what a heart is. We've looked at this before, but I want to give it to you one more time so that you can actually see it. Okay, so Lev is a heart, and in modern script it looks like this. Lamed, Bet. In Paleo, it's a shepherd staff, like that, and a nomadic tent floor plan. And the term literally means authority within, or the authority inside. And so when it says, and when he turned from Samuel, and he began to walk, that the Most High gave him a new heart. That means immediately he changed his authority inside. Everything from that moment that Saul was doing, right, looking at his future, we're talking about right now, he was operating based upon the authority within, the one that Yah gave him. He was doing everything that Yah told him to do.
Wow.
Okay, so he changed his authority inside. And so, the next thing is, and it says he turned into another. The word is Ahar, Aleph, Het, Resh. And it's a ox. I'm gonna get good at this ox one day.
Oh, wow. First try?
Het, look at that. Het, which is a tent, fence wall separation, and Resh. And I kind of blended those two. And that's a man's head. Ooh,
Oh no.
Oh.
That looks like Donald Trump! Let me fix that! Wow, that's hilarious. Okay. Yeah, and I had to, because Donald Trump, I had to fix it. They'd be like, no. And it literally means it's ox head. So first, het, separate, resh. The word literally means, in a sense, to burn or to set a fire within. So it's to close in the self so that the Father is like overseeing it or watching over it. So he is under the watchful authority of Yah. Is Yah in English too? Oh, it's spelled English. Yes.
AHAR.
Yeah.
Okay. I could find
Let me delete that one.
The resident.
Ahar.
a heart.
Yeah, that'd probably be ACH if you want to spell
Font.
Yeah.
I'll find it.
CHAR.
Right.
And okay, so he gave him. If you change the heart of him within, he gave him an inside passion or an inside desire. He gave him a fire within. So most of the time, one of the things we talk about in Jeremiah, I thought I wrote the verse down, maybe I didn't. But Jeremiah says like a fire shut up in my bones. Inside there was a fire going, and the only way the fire could be quenched or fed would be by Yah. And it's very much evident of what we're gonna read in a second. It's literally he gave him his ruach, because Saul's gonna get the spirit of Yah. And so he gives a fire that can only be directed, can only be quenched, and can only be told what to do by Yah. There are different spirits, if you will, in scripture, and sometimes the spirit within can be driven by ourselves. And so what he's showing is that the fire, the spirit, the leader within him was Yah. Okay? Alright. Part number 3. Evidence of the call and conversion. This is something that comes up a lot within this walk. And it's because you should be able to judge a person or a thing by its fruit. And we have experiences within our lives that can be leading us down the path, but then there is a concrete evidence of conversion. One writer calls it regeneration, if you will. I don't necessarily like that term, but I get what he's meaning. Like, there should be something that people should be able to see in you that's different from what you currently are, right? So, let's go look at what that is. So the evidence of the call. When the spirit of Yah comes upon you, what does that look like? And there are, in religious settings, it's like this in this place, and it's like this in this place. But Yah gives it concretely because we see it for the first time literally laid out with Saul. Okay? So let's look at what happens. When the spirit of Yah comes upon you, the first thing that should happen is that you should be changed into a new person. And by a new person, meaning that your heart, the authority within, should now be inclined toward Yah. Immediately. It's not a short process. When you really come in contact with Yah, like really for the first time truly in your life, not him beckoning you. Because I think a lot of times throughout our journey, Yah is beckoning us. So it's with simple things like, I prayed and this happened. Why? So that he can show you that he's faithful. You ask of me, I can do. But it changes when you actually come into contact and you're called and he arrests you. Now it's different. Now it's not, you ask, I give. You ask, I give. I'm trying to show you that my heart is for you. Now it's, you're here, you're in front of me, let's talk. And the first talk when you're in front of me is obedience.
Right.
The authority within is now me. And so the evidence that you've come into contact with Yah is now obedience to him.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what does it look like? The first thing is obedience. What is obedience? Obedience is Shema. Not just hearing, not to be just a hearer of the word, but a doer of it. So if a person's just a hearer of it, and it always sounds good, and I just love hearing the word, and I love reading the word, but you're not doing it, you haven't come in contact.
Right.
You're being beckoned, but you're not in contact yet. You're not being summoned. You're not at your appointed meeting where he's like, now I'm telling you what to do. It's just like anybody else. Some people like to listen to music. Some people just like the Bible. There are people who are secular who literally spend their whole lives studying the Bible and don't believe a word in it.
Right.
Don't do anything in it. So you can, it's like, it's powerless without obedience. Right. Yeah. Right. So he's like, it's good literature. Oh, it makes me feel good. It makes me, that can be a thing, but that's not evidence of literally walking with Yah. Second thing is, he opens up his word. So once you're obedient, he begins to open up his word. Now it's not something that you just look at. Now it's not something that just feels good. Now it's not just something that's encouraging, but he begins to show you how you can be different in it. Now he starts to show you, it becomes a mirror. That's what this is. This is you, this is your word. And when you look in it, everything that you see is supposed to show you. A lot of times before we have our encounter with Yah, we can always see how other people can do things differently. We can never see ourselves in it. And one of the things that happens when Yah arrests you is now it's about me and you in this moment. Paul is a great example of that. When the Most High calls Paul in the New Testament, he literally sits him down and deals with him. Him. Not what they're doing, not the religious crowd. So he sat me down, he taught me. And so that when people say, let the Ruach lead you into all truth. Why? Because that thing, you're supposed to be sitting down and he's supposed to be literally tearing you apart, working on you, putting you back together so that you're now a deployable, not a warrior, because I don't like that term, because people think they have to fight for you. A deployable ambassador of his word. Okay? 3, you begin to live different. Once he arrests you, you're here. You're back in his house. You're under his rules. You're obeying them, right? You're going to start living different. Because when you go home, you're going back to his house. And he's giving you instruction. And as you go out into the world and people see you, they should see a difference between you, the you they know, and the you that scripture tells you to be. And not in a religious sense. It's in a everyday lifestyle sense. It should be an everyday thing. So most people are constantly saying, well, I'm me. And one of the things in my meditation today, so if my eyes are red, I've been like all in this today, is that it should be less of you. So if you can still see you when you stand in the mirror every day, then you're not seeing Yah. You should almost become unfamiliar to yourself. Where there's a phase in this development where you do feel a little lost. Like, I don't feel like me anymore. I don't feel like the me, I'm re-meeting me, but guess what? You were never you. Because if you're not operating in who he's called you to be, then you were never who you were supposed to be from the beginning. People always ask me the name thing, because obviously, those who know me, I was born as Marika, right? That's the name. I was given it by my parents. My father's name is Maurice. Marika. It's brilliant. Right? Right? And, I mean, that was the name I've always been given it. And if I was to pick a name, people always ask me that, like, how do you pick a Hebrew name? You don't. Right. If I was to pick a Hebrew name, it would have been something fancy. Like, listen, it would have been like Hadassah or something, something that fits our ego. Right? And when the Most High gives us our character and our understanding, I'm not telling people to go change their name, because you can know who you are Hebraically and be told who you are and still operate under whatever name you have. It's not my point. My point is, for me, it was the action of literally... I was not expecting to see you today. But I'm happy that I am.
No, I'm good.
Oh,
You want a chair? We got one more.
One more.
Come on.
Come on. Hey! If it gets warm, maybe we can crack the window. Okay. Well, I mean, let me turn on the fan. Either one. Who's outside? One of the things that happens though is that you're given a way to operate that's specific to how he wants you to operate. And so a lot of times what happened in our culture and why people's names were often so obscure and strange, like Mahasha'Allah, right? Right? Like, why is this name like a 3-part name? Because it gave you the character of the child. Why? Because the character of the child was prayed for and then given to the parent by Yah. So that the child from an infant was called to the purpose, knew how they were supposed to operate throughout their life. Their name then kept calling them back to what they were supposed to be. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that if they ever got lost, part of a child not departing far from was that your name is attached to this culture.
Right.
Wow.
Your attributes are given to you in your name. So yeah, every time you go out and say, hey, my name is, and you're going out to the Canaanites, you're going to be like, well, you Hebrew?
Yeah.
Yeah, but And so what happened when we would go into other nations, they would change our names. They would change our names and give us a different name, because by them changing our name, it gives them ownership. The reason why our culture let Yah name the children is because it showed them that I'm your parent, but the ownership over the direction you're going comes from your father. And so there's a certain part in your life where you will detach from the part that's given to you by your parents and all that, and you're going to go follow your father. The Mashiach said, I'm about my father's business. And I was like, oh, how rude. No, you are ambassadors and you are nurturers over a gift that's been given to you. But eventually, that gift is going to break off and serve the one who really sent them here. And so the name, being from Yah, calls them, because the father names them, that's their true identity. Exactly. Okay, so the idea of you begin to live different. So for me, Huldah, the name is a duality in so many ways. Part of the name literally means, when I go to Israel now, I'm like, what's your name? Huldah. And they're like, isn't that like a mole? And I was like, exactly. That's exactly what the physical picture is. It's a burrowing animal.
Oh.
So it could be any burrowing animal, any animal that burrows. But the picture of the name literally means to go through or to dig into things.
Oh.
So the name means. And so I didn't pick that name. I didn't like it when I was like, this is who you're going to be. I was like, nope. Okay, I'll be it to you, but I'll never use it. Why? Because, but the more I began researching and embracing the name, right, the light, then it gave me what my life is supposed to look like. Because then, okay, there's a prophetess. She's literally a teacher in scripture. Yeah. She literally had to separate herself from a lot of things and a lot of people to carry out her function. And she was, it began to, oh, okay. And it causes you to live that way. Okay. What am I on the fourth thing, people around you can see the difference. If people can't around you, when you get around people who know you, not people in this setting, you guys know me. Well, most of you know me because I'm pretty open. But you know me in part. The people who know me are the people who nurtured me, the people who raised me, the people who know me at my worst and at my best. Those people know me. And those are the people who can actually see the difference. If those people can't see the difference, who cares if the world thinks you're a good person? Who cares if the world thinks you're saved? Who cares? I can play that all day. I don't even talk to people outside of the people I know. So I can play that off really smooth, right? But it's the people that you're with every day who see your worship, who see your shortcomings, who see how you recover from them. Those are the people who are the witnesses to the evidence of your conversion, if you will. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So if those people can't see a difference, then nobody else matters. And what happens when those people see a difference is that's when conversion starts to happen. Because they're waiting for a difference. I get this a lot since we're in women's space. People always ask me about like families and how do I help my family be different? They know you.
Wow.
So like if I'm a ticking time bomb, because I'm a little hot-headed sometimes. Sometimes. I am. It's a little passive aggressive. And I'm just being honest, like, wait, what do I have to lose in here? So look at you.
Yeah.
And they know that. So it's easy if that's a temperament that I have, and then they watch me say, you know what, I'm gonna let it go. Or they see that I'm offended, and then I go, you know what, I'm good. And I'm really good, they're like, hold on, wait, what just happened?
Yeah. Who was that?
What was that? And so scripture talks about people giving a response for your joy or for your difference. Because they're going to inquire about it. It's not talking about people in the world seeing you smiling and like, why are you so happy?
Wow.
No, it's literally when somebody ticks you off and then you don't punch them in the face. And they're like, you're a fighter. I'm not a fighter. But you're a fighter and you didn't punch that person, or you were just like, no, I'm cool. Like, that was not you. What stopped you from being that person?
Yeah.
And then that's when it's like, you know what, most times really working on me. And then they're like, I'm gonna watch. And they're watching intently to see if the you is gonna keep coming out or if the him is gonna keep showing up. And the cool thing about people that love you is when enough of the him comes out, when the you actually comes out, then they encourage you to go back to the him.
Ooh, yes, they do.
Right?
Yeah.
They're like, you was doing so good.
Yeah.
Right? Right? They're like,
Good.
it's not
I like
a,
that.
oh, I'm done with you, or you're fake, or you're, no. They're like, no, that was working for you. I've seen a lot of people, I'm trying to think of a person, I don't want to use their name, where a person's husband came up to me and was like, I wasn't into the whole Hebrew thing, but my wife, she was like different. And he was like, so then I was like, well, what you watching? And he's like, so then I'm like, he said, so I would tell her, go back in the room and watch Huldah. And me and him laughed, and he was like, and it was literally her, like, he was like, literally, she's like, I'm in here with my homegirl, I'll talk to you later. And he was like, but whatever relationship you guys had was helping her, and it made me want to be like, okay, well, if she can be different, and I know her, then I want to see what this is all about too. So that's the difference. And then people will inquire. We kind of talked about that. Then people will ask. Then people will seek. Then people will want to know. They don't want to know anything until they know it's working for you.
Right.
It's like relationship advice, right? You always have that friend that's like, oh yeah, girl, leave him if you don't have a man.
Right.
I don't know about that. That sounds good for you. But if you were in my same position, I told you the same thing, you wouldn't heed that advice.
She just want to hang out.
Right. She's like, girl, if you were single, then we could.
Right. Yeah.
She's not thinking about the other side. It's the same thing. So people are going to inquire. All right. Part 4. Let's go to, let's read down. And when they came thither to the hill, and this is the prophecy coming to be, behold, a company of prophets met him, and the Spirit of Yah came upon him, and he prophesied among them. Okay, we cover what that looked like in the beginning. And it came to pass when all that knew him before time saw that, behold, he prophesied, 11, verse 11, among the prophets, and the people said one to another, what is this that is coming to the son of Kish? Is Saul also among the prophets? Immediately you see it. The people are like, wait, I know the tribe of Benjamin. We went over that last week.
Right.
Yeah.
I know Kish. And I know Saul. What is this? Is he also among the prophets? He's whole different crowd, whole different song, whole different tune. Like, you left looking for asses and came back prophesying. What is this?
Yeah.
Literally, the evidence of him being something new was immediate. It said this all happened the same day. People that saw him, saw the company he was keeping, saw the conversation he was having, they automatically knew there's something different about you from the time you left here and the time that you came back and encountered. Yeah, there's something different immediately. It doesn't tarry. It's not something that, it's immediate. Now obedience is continual. Like, you can see an immediate change, but we talked about this last week, enduring to the end is the most important part of being chosen. Okay? So he says, and he prophesied among them, and it came to pass that when they saw him, they said, who is this? And verse 12 said, and one of the same place answered and said, but who is their father? The idea of a father, this is very interesting. I didn't see this before. A father in Torah is a Av. Aleph, Bet. I'm going to write it in English too. And I'm going to get a second snatch at this. Nope, did not. Let's try it again. This ox is supposed to, something like that. And tent. And in Hebrew it's an Av, just A-B. And it's like an ah as in father. And he says, who is their father? Now remember I talked to you about the fact that he has this authority within. So the question, because is he a false prophet or is he a true prophet? What is a father? A father is the authority of the house. So he's saying, who's leading him now? And we already got the answer. His authority within is Yah. The question that we ask is, if there is a change, who is the author of that change? Is he just faking it?
Right.
Or is the change actually authentic? And Yah already answered all the questions concerning Saul before we even get the questions from the people. So he says, who is his father? They're not asking who was his daddy. It just said he's the son of Kish.
Right.
Who is this Saul, the son of Kish? They knew who his daddy was. He's asking, son. You guys don't know Solomon.
That's
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Talk about Samuel and Solomon.
Yes. It says, who is the authority over his body, over his actions, over him.
Wow.
And it says that therefore became a proverb is Saul also among the prophets. It became a thing, like, we don't know what's going on here. Because it hasn't been fully revealed. It's going to be. Okay? And Saul's uncle said unto him and to his servant, I'm just going to paraphrase it. Where'd y'all go?
What you been
Give me some of that. And he said to seek the asses. And when we saw they were nowhere, we came to Samuel. Samuel, buzzword. And verse 15 said, and Saul's uncle said, tell me, I pray thee, what Samuel said unto thee. And Saul said to his uncle, he told us plainly that the asses were found, but of the matter of the kingdom, wherefore Samuel spake, he told him not. Verse 15. When his uncle asked of him what happened, he didn't tell him. Was he lying?
No.
No, right?
Right.
Right? Why? Why did he not tell him? Anybody know?
Oh, that he had been anointed king.
That whatever. Why did he answer him and say, we went and looked for the asses, then we found Samuel? And he was like, and then what did he say? He told us that the asses were found.
Because the prophecy hadn't come.
Okay. So things that are deposited privately are not always meant for everyone.
Right.
One of the things that I've been in the process of learning a tough lesson of is that we often want to share where we're going, but not everybody sees you like Yah sees you.
Right. Yeah. Discouraged.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yah sees us complete. People see us in part, in time. So they see you when Joseph said, oh yeah, and all y'all gonna bow down to me. His daddy literally beat him when he said that. It's in the story. It says he listened to him and he said, but you didn't. It literally says that.
Yeah.
And he laid hands on him. Why? How dare you tell me that I, as your father, I don't care if it is from Yah, you don't say that. But was he telling the truth?
Yes.
Is it the truth?
Yes.
It is very much the truth. Right? And he literally laid hands to his hind parts. This kid may have not just been a kid, he may have been like a semi-adult.
Right.
Like literally, beat his behind. And the reason why is because it has to be deposited into you so that you guard it, preserve it, keep it. But it may not be for everybody else because the same way Samuel delayed to tell Eli what Yah had told him, the same way Saul delayed to tell his uncle what Samuel had told him. Why? He said he thought Eli was going to be upset. He's like, oh, if I say this, he's going to be furious. They might even kill me. If I tell this man, then not only your sons are going to die, not only you're going to experience great sorrow and also going to die, but then I'm going to pretty much be the leader over Israel.
Wow.
Death. What could that do to the ego, to the pride, and to people who are already operating in all kind of debauchery? They've been terrible, right? So be mindful. What it tells us is to be mindful of those people who inquire. Not everybody that asks needs to know. The difference in you is going to cause people to inquire, but how you answer them shows your personal wisdom and discernment. Because had David, when we get to it, told Saul that he had been anointed king, Samuel was afraid to go anoint David king. He said, he's going to kill me. He said, oh, well, then don't do that. Tell them you're going to have a feast.
Right.
Why? Not everybody that inquires is coming to also participate in the process
To protect.
that Yah has you on. One of the things about this walk and this call, because all of us who are called at this time are called to do a particular work. You may think because you're new, you came in at the tail end of this thing.
No, it's your turn.
No, it's Yah's time, and Yah is doing something by raising up people that are faithful to Him, so that in this awakening, as people wake up, they have solid people to attach to. This is not a single person walk. This is not an individual walk. It's not, it's between me and Yah. No, Yah is going to give you people to yoke up with you, and you both grow together. It's not individual. If Yah put you with a person who had no more growth to be done, then they wouldn't be here. Just like when Elisha was with Elijah. Elijah was gone. Why? Elisha had to walk. Right? It doesn't work like that. You're yoked together so that you're plowing in the same direction that Yah sends you in. That makes sense? So just because a person inquires doesn't mean they always want to be yoked with you. They might be putting things in your path, or they might want to be with you for what the journey entails for them personally, but not for the actual work and the necessary labor to get to the fruit that Yah has for you. Okay? When it comes to our call, we are required to stand as gatekeepers over what Yah deposits into us. Because it's just like in the last days, those like end times movies when you have stuff in your house and then people from all over come and they want to like loot your house because they don't have anything. It's the same way when it comes to what Yah deposits. We're entering into a time where people are not being fed spiritually. And so people who are not being fed and are not eating right are malnourished.
Right.
And they're coming to take it all out of your well.
Amen. Whoa.
And what happens is people are often asking, but they're not interested in actually obeying. They want to see what you're doing and how, by being used by the adversary, how they could throw you off that path. Everybody that asks is not your friend. Everybody that sits down and says, can you show me in Torah where we're supposed to be? And they'll lead you on rabbit holes. Like, I literally know people who have invested time into people who pretend like they want to be on this walk and pretend like they want to know, but they can't seem to. I just don't get it, though. I just can't seem to. I just can't see how you want me to just like follow Yah. Then you know what? You're an asshole. A-S-K.
Oh, okay.
You're asking a lot of questions, and I'm throwing my pearls into a deep hole, and I'm losing a lot of energy and time I could be spending personally developing and growing with Yah, thinking that I'm leading you somewhere. A lot of our families are ask holes.
Okay.
Where they're asking for us to deposit all this into them, and they're wasting it. And by wasting it, you're throwing away the seeds that are supposed to be growing in you to help you better operate with Yah away. Okay. Having wise counsel. Saul also heeded. When Samuel told the servant to go ahead, it was a clue. Bling. Maybe this is not something for everybody. If he wanted everybody to know it, he would have shared it with everybody. Because he didn't share it with everybody, he didn't want everybody to know it. That's also a nugget for relationships with people.
Whoa.
A person shouldn't have to tell you, don't go tell such and such this. If they didn't share it with everybody, they didn't want everybody to know it.
Right.
That should never have to come up in conversation. If you didn't share it, then you don't want them to know it.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mind blown, right?
Yeah.
Just keep that in our pocket.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Okay. Always be in a position, though, to speak for yourself about what Yah has done for you. When we tell other people what Yah is planning to do for us, then it gives them the opportunity to speak into a space that they were not privy to. Does that make sense? Yeah. So one of the things, and this is the conversation I used to have with my grandmother when my husband was pastoring, and my grandmother, we have a relationship, but it's not close. She does not know the intimate details of the areas of my life. So if she's not an ambassador for me, but people who didn't know me would go to people close to me and inquire of me to them, about me with them. And then they would share. And then when they would say something, people would believe it because they're close to me. And it may have not been the whole truth, or they may knew truth in part, or just what I shared with them. Have you heard the whole, let me hear it from the horse's mouth?
Right.
If you want to know something, ask the person. So by Saul depositing the truth that Yah gave him into his uncle his uncle could have begun to speak for him, and he wasn't there. When people are not there for the confirmation, for the journey, they can't speak into it because you don't know. You don't know what happened. You don't know my experience. And then you'll try to convince me that my experience wasn't my experience.
Yeah.
Or you'll try to convince other people based upon your right now in the moment knowledge of me, what I'm actually doing. Well, actually, this person is really like this. And I know they're saying that y'all tell me to do this, but I know them. And I just can't see it. It ain't for you to see. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. If people share and deposit with people, what happened?
It's
It
frozen.
says it was frozen.
Yeah.
I fixed it. I got it.
Okay.
Oh, you on now?
Okay.
Probably
It
tell
was
you.
low battery mode. I fixed it.
Oh, was it there? Okay. If you share and deposit with people who are not for Yah's will, not just people you like, but Yah's will,
They can hear it.
no matter what, they will use their influence to write themselves or write you off in Yah's story. Oh no, not you. You're not strong enough for that. You're not deep enough for that call. You're not important enough for that call. You're not. Oh, but Yah chose me.
Yeah.
The confounding the wise with the simple things, right? And that was the same thing with Saul. He was chosen because he was good. He wasn't chosen because he was the best. He wasn't he wasn't perfect. He was the perfect person and functional for that particular job. Okay. Verse 17. And Samuel called the people together unto Yahuwah to Mitzpah. We already covered Mitzpah, I think in lesson 4. And we talked about it being a place where Yah stands as a watch over what's getting ready to take place. At the right time, this is my point number 5, I'm sorry. At the right time, Yah will make his will known. It's not for us. He'll make it known. And Yah says unto the children of Israel, thus saith Yahuwah of Israel, I brought you up out of Egypt and delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians and out of the hand of all the kingdoms and out of them that oppressed you. And you have this day rejected your Elohim, who himself saved you out of all your adversities and your tribulations. Literally meaning little and big. Stuff you signed yourself up for and stuff that people brought against you. I was there for both of them. And ye have said unto him, nope, but set a king over us. Now therefore present yourselves before Yahuwah by your tribes and by your thousands. Yah is getting ready to make his will known. We don't have to make Yah's will known. People will discourage you in the process of Yah making his will known. Stay on the path. Because Yah is going to make his will known, and then he's going to confirm it, and then can't nobody do nothing about
Right.
it. Okay?
Okay.
So, I'm going to give you a verse. Amos 3 and 8. We're going to see who Yah makes his will known to. And if he says he's going to make his will known, because you know, y'all think I'll be making it.
Amos 3.
Hebrews have to get rid of Ahab, so I wouldn't trust the Hebrew either. Hebrews chapter 3. Verse
Amos.
Amos. Because Hebrews. Amos. Chapter 3. Let's start at verse
6.
yeah. Let's start 7. Surely Yahuwah will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants the prophets. The lion hath roared, who will not fear? Yahuwah hath spoken, who can but prophesy? Once Yah says it, we all know it's going to come to pass. Then we can all prophesy in truth, because we're prophesying based upon his unchanging word and not based upon our own position.
What verse was that?
Amos chapter 3, verses 7 and 8.
Thank you.
All right. But first, he confirms with his prophets and is chosen so that it's not coincidental. Everything we heard up until this point has been in private between Samuel, Saul, and what's been said. The Most High is now speaking to the people at large. He has gathered them by their tribes and in their thousands to come and hear what he has to say. Watch what he's going to do. Verse 20. And Samuel had caused all the tribes of Israel to come near, and the tribe of Benjamin was taken. So now it's the formalities. First it's the confirmation. Now it's the actual confirmation in front of the people. What this process is, it's called like taking lots. We talked about this idea of predestination a few weeks ago. And are certain things predestined? Well, in this case, Samuel had already been told to anoint Saul, right? Saul had to go through this journey of knowing that this was not by happenstance, that this was not really not a choice either. But he did have a choice, but not really. That all of this was happening because of Yah's will. It wasn't him being chosen. He wasn't choosing himself. So that when people came against him, it wasn't that
He
I
didn't
didn't
do
choose
it.
me.
Right.
It wasn't me.
Much rather be doing
I was literally, his story is thus. The asses ran away. I went to go look for him. Ran to Samuel. All of a sudden I'm anointed. I'm lost. Like, I'm just as lost as you guys are.
Right.
All this just happened a few days ago. Right?
Yeah.
And so the process, we call it like calling lots. Like, it's like picking a straw. Right? And so what Yah is doing is he's rolling the dice, if you will, or casting lots in front of the people, but he already knew how they were going to fall.
Right.
Not because he preordained it in a sense, but I chose him. So the lots are going to fall in my favor. I already know who's going to be chosen. I already chosen, but I need you guys to see the process.
Right.
When I'm with my hands in something, even if I cast lots, the lots still fall in my favor because I'm Yah. The dice rolls for me.
Right.
Everything obeys me.
Gonna land on me.
7.
Me. 7. Yeah.
Right, it's not ever gonna fall outside of my will. So he, what was that? What verse is that? Verse 21. He says, when he caused verse 10. He says the tribe of Israel came near, and out of the tribes, Benjamin was taken. So imagine like Benjamin.
Right.
Oh goodness, it's already bad.
Yeah.
Because the scepter was not supposed to depart from
Judah.
Judah. Okay, so they're like, now you know it's Yah, because now it seems outside of his natural, the natural things that have been set up. Oh, it's all the way in the trailer outside.
Okay.
Yeah. Verse 21. When he had caused the tribe of Benjamin to come near by their families, the family of Matri was taken. And then Saul, the son of Kish, was taken. And when they sought them, he couldn't be found. So they're like, all right, Matri. Tribe comes up. Kish comes up. Saul.
Yeah.
Nowhere to be found. What do you think happened to Saul?
He went to hide. He was scared.
He was scared out of his mind.
Right.
One of the things, and the reason why I can say he's scared is not because he's scary, because that's not the thing, he's a warrior.
But
if you ever,
the
call on a person, if you ever, Jonah.
Right, he ran.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
I mean, you can go through.
Yes.
Oh, all of a sudden it's overwhelming. Oh no, this wasn't a game.
Moses.
The prophesying was fun. The finding the asses were fun. The anointing, all that was all good, but now this is actually really happening. Like, you're getting ready to put me in front of all these people, and they know me. This is a family. This is not like me and y'all, right? No.
Right.
They know me. And you're getting ready to put me pretty much under the microscope. I'm good. Literally, they call out for him, and he's like, I'm hiding.
Mm-hmm.
This is happening, and this call is too heavy for me. It's too heavy for me. And it literally says that, therefore, they inquired of YHWH. So he was not showing up. Literally, can you imagine all the tribes of Israel looking, and you can't be found? It's not like 10 people.
Wow.
Thousands of people.
Yes.
They're looking for you, and you're hiding.
I didn't know.
And he was hiding so good that they had to ask Yah,
Wait.
where is Saul? Like, literally.
Right there.
It says, for if the man should, it said they inquired of Yah further, if the man should yet come thither. Should he still come? Like, he's not coming. Do you still want him? He says, and YHWH answered, behold, and he tells him where he's hid. He has hid himself amongst the stuff.
Go
It
get
literally says the stuff.
Oh.
I think this is funny. I've been looking at this for like 3 weeks, and I think every time I come around, it's the stuff. He tried to hide himself in the most insignificant place. He was hiding under like they sit in like the armory, like in like the war stuff, like just shields. And he was like, I'm gonna be out where nobody's gonna look for me. He was like, no, absolutely, like not telling y'all no, but like the weight of it, just how. And they ran and fetched him thence. Yeah, I'm gonna get you.
Right.
I want you. And he stood amongst the people. So can you imagine them like fetching him, like unburying him where he's hidden, right?
Right.
And he stands up, and the dude stands up and he says, and he was higher than any of the people for his shoulders, from his shoulder and head upwards. He was head and shoulders taller than literally everyone else in Israel. I have another part for this because it fits into David and Goliath, but we'll go with that. And he was tall. And Samuel said to all the people, see him? Like, whom Yah hath chosen, that there is none like him. I would have been, okay, if anybody knows me, you know when like people like say nice stuff, not just nice stuff, but they be doing too much, I feel like this. Like, please stop, stop, he goes, see? He goes, he says, there is none like him amongst all the people. Don't y'all see that?
24.
And verse 24, and all the people shouted and said, and it doesn't say Yah save the king. That's very, it was just like, Yah bless the king. Like, this is the one. Like, we agree. And verse 25, then Samuel told the people the manner of the kingdom. And the manner of the kingdom, and he wrote it down. And laid it before Yahuwah. So he tells them the manner of the kingdom. What does that mean? It literally said the manner means the judgment. Yah gave a judgment before he gave him the king. You rejected me. The judgment means there's still something that's going to come of this rejection. And he wrote it down. He wrote down what their agreement was. You agreed to having this king. You agreed to being this king. All this was written down. So you can't go back and say, that didn't happen. He wrote it down and he laid it before Yah. And the people were okay with it. And then Samuel sent all the people away, every man to his house. And Saul went home to Gibeah. And there was a band, Saul went home to Gibeah. And there went with him a band of men whose hearts Yah had touched. That's my last one.
And you.
Yeah.
Yah gives you your people.
Amen.
Yeah.
He does. Say that
It's
one more
not
time.
a choice.
Okay.
You might not even always think that they're your people sometimes.
Yep.
Yah gives you your people.
Okay.
It's undeniable. It hits you in a place that it's you can't explain it. It's almost like it's very interesting. And this is my last point, so I can kind of like sit here for a second. Yah will give you your people, and they're those who are touched and moved because of how you are all drawn together toward the calling. It's not just, it wasn't just about Saul, right? But they understood that this is who Yah is dealing with at this time, and this is who we're supposed to be with. Right, wrong, indifferent, good, bad. If you watch Saul's journey, the people that are with him are with him. Period. Even David.
Right.
Right?
David was soothing him.
Right? Like, the people that Yah chose to be with him were with him. Good, bad, right, wrong, indifferent. We are so wishy-washy as people. We don't understand that when Yah gives you people, those are your people because it's communal. Everything about it is communal. The relationship is communal. Where they lack, you have something. And he says, and he brought them together in a band. Okay, I'm going to give you that in a second. So, Saul initially went up with his servant. He went up with people from his father's house. People that he had made friends with on his own accord. But when he left with the people that Yah gave him.
Sure did. People that y'all touch.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody feels this personally. That's very personal for me. Because I'm one of those people, I like roll with the same people, and which is not many. And most of the time they come out of my personal home. But I've been given people, as the Most High has been increasing the direction he wants me to go. And the people are not just people for me, they're people for the journey. They're people banded together for the purpose. And it's often strange because in that process, sometimes you have to let go of some people who may just be a little too over familiar. One of the things I talked about with the friends that I've been given on this side, and the funny thing is, the Most High makes you very familiar with the people He gives you. So it's not about the familiarity that's the problem, it's the contempt that comes with familiarity.
Say that again.
I'll say it. It's the contempt
That
that comes with the familiarity. The people who know you and are allowed to know you on an intimate level and are on the same path or going in the same direction, what happens with them, and this is a conversation I know personally, I had it with two young ladies, and I might share their names later. One of the conversations we had was that when Yah puts you in a position and people close to you know you, and then to other people be like, ooh, I see you and I don't like you. So I don't like anything you got going on. But to the people that Yah puts in your path, right? The people who are journeying, who have to say, hey, I'm with you. How would you know unless they tell you, right? When they tell you, Yah lets them see parts of you that may be good and bad.
Right.
But when they see you in you're bad, and then you guys work through the bad, and then they see Yah use you with your gift, they can actually see Yah because they know you.
Yes.
I can see Yah using you because Hebrew, I know you.
Right.
I know you, and that's Yah. One person told me that the relationship between friends and that intimate relationship is supposed to be that when you're operating under Yah's gift and Yah's will, and you and a person lock into that's them getting to commune with Hamashiach. That's when they see it because they know you. And there's something that happens in a relationship where it goes click, and now I see Ruach recognize Ruach.
Right.
All of a sudden it's like, at first it was like John in the Hamashiach. At first he was just my cousin. But wait, what?
Right.
What is this? Where there's a soul exchange now. That which is in me is now joined to that which is in you, and we communicate on a level that most people wouldn't even understand. It's there. Why? Because I know you, and then I can see the light shining through you, and I'm like, wait, I like you, but what is that?
What is for you?
Can I get with that? Right?
Yes.
Step aside.
And so the idea of them joining with him was that, okay, Yah told them to. It wasn't by their necessarily on choice. It said that Yah literally touched. What happened?
Froze.
It just froze. Because it's on low power. The battery's something wrong with that charger.
Okay, you moved
that
again.
charger?
You good.
Okay.
It's the charger.
Yah chose them for that journey. That makes sense? Okay.
It's not that.
They were not what?
You
Oh,
good.
no, I'm saying.
Oh, they were not touched by the man, but by the one who called him to walk and war with him. Now we don't war in this time because we're not in battle with flesh and blood, but it's with spiritual. It's spiritual. It's with principalities. It's with darkness. It's with things. So the people that are sent to you are not sent to you to deal with your carnal man. They're sent with you to war with you and pray for you to deal with the spiritual man because that's the only man that matters. I want to see less of you. I want to act. I have Malcolm. We always talk like this. I want to re-meet you every time I see you. Every time I see you and I spend time with you, our friendship is okay. I get to meet Malka. What have you been working on, and who has the Most High been turning you into? What's new? And then for us, what do you have for me? Because if you're with me, then you're praying for me. What do we have to exchange? The jewels, the treasure part. I have another friend, Lauren, same thing. I talk to her all the time. What do you have? How can I help you? How can I help you grow spiritually? We're friends. We talk crazy. If you talk, you probably wouldn't even know if we were coming or going. But the intimate level is, now, how can I serve you? What do you need from me? Why? Because these two people have literally told me, we're good. Like this, we're walking this thing all the way out till infinity and beyond, no matter what. And for me, sometimes it has to come like that, slap in the face. Hey, like Lauren, I'm your best friend. Really? Okay. Well, like, but in the same sense, I've known Lauren for 2 years, and I'm the type of person we can chit chat. Hey, we've kept the coat. But until there's that actual moment of like, did we just become best friends? Yup. then it's real. And for me, I take it seriously. Like people like that, I die for. Like literally, like drop dead die. Like this physical body die. Like don't let me catch somebody talking about you. You might forget that I'm a Hebrew. It's real. It's real. But also that at that moment, for especially with those two, and I have a bunch of other people, I'm using them as examples because I've talked to them, they don't mind me using them. There comes that moment where it's very transparent. My relationship with those two people is very transparent. They know things about me that I don't care telling them, and I don't have to ever say don't share these things, because that's where that is. They are banded together with me on this journey where there's no part of my life that's off limits. We have I'm like, ask me and you get the honest to goodness truth, whether it's good, bad, ugly, and different, because I trust that if it is something that's ugly, that the Most High is going to show you how to help me overcome that thing. And that was supposed to be the same process for Saul and the men they literally went home with him. That's something that's us. We live too far and spread where you're literally saying like, if I'm more married, hey babe, we set up our tent over on Saul's property now. Because how this works, we are sent to protect, help, guard, pray, dwell, intimately know him, because one of the things we don't know, and you see it in sports a lot, but not in life so much, because we're so far from our culture. But one of the things we see in sports is that sports teams live in the same dorm. They eat at the same table. Why? So that when you get on the court or when you get on the field, the chemistry is so tight that I know what he's thinking, I know what he's going for a pass, I know what he's going for this, I know what he's going for that. That's necessary for certain levels of battle and ministry. And it's definitely necessary for certain levels of ministry. People wouldn't understand it because we're so far removed from that. My space is my space, your space is your space. But what if I need you to see me like nobody else sees me, to keep me where I need to be going, and vice versa? It's one thing to trust a person where they are. They're like, oh, I'm good, yeah, Most High, blessed and highly favored. And then I get you with me in ministry, and I take you somewhere, and I get you into a space, and then you freeze or fall apart on me. And I don't know how to get you out of that. I don't know how to I don't know how to encourage you. I don't know how to pray for you. I don't know how to move with you, or you move with me. Yes. It's very, very necessary. And so, communally, that was very necessary. Okay, this is where it gets good. I'm almost done. So their hearts were touched, their hearts were pricked, and Saul also went home to Gibeah, verse 26, and there went with him a band of men whose hearts Elohim had touched. Verse 27. Woo!
There you go.
But the children of Belial said, how shall this man save us? And they despised him and brought him no present. This is my part. But he held his peace. Hey. That part right there. Like, that's the part right there. So, we talked about this last week, and this confirms it. The children of Belial were not just children of Baal. Worthless. They were not just children who were after false gods. But literally the word means worthless or lawless, or were not in tune at all to what the Most High was doing. And so they saw all this. Yah chose the person. Yah literally says what he's going to do. And then they said, how is he going to save us? You know what? We despise him. You don't even know him. We hate him. We know Yah chose him. We're not rolling with him.
Whoa.
Because they ain't really.
Where and she said because they're not rolling with Yah. There are people in the camp, in the midst, all around
AI.
who despise how Yah chooses.
Mm.
One of the things people don't understand about how Yah chooses, and I can only speak for me, I'm pretty sure everybody else can speak for themselves, but Yah doesn't choose people because they're good, like what people think is good.
Right.
If I was Yah, I wouldn't have picked me.
Right.
I wouldn't have.
I
I would not have, because sometimes even we have trouble seeing ourselves like Yah sees us. But if you knew me and you knew my heart, you would understand why. And as I get to know me, and as I get to understand the heart that Yah has given me, not my heart, because my heart is deceitfully wicked above all things, right? Isn't that what Scripture says? Like,
That's what Scripture says.
But as I get to know the heart and as it grows, I can see. Because at the end of the day, am I willing? Yes. Will I change? Will I fix anything? Absolutely. Will I go wherever He sends me, like the wind blows? Like, will I give up anything? Absolutely. Will I understand it all the time? No. May I do it kicking and screaming? Most of the time. Is it hard to let go of self? Absolutely. Right? But see, they didn't see that part about Saul. They just saw, I know him. How's he going to save us? That worthless tribe. That worthless man. And who cares that he's tall and that he is good and that Yah picked him? They didn't trust Yah. They didn't trust that when Yah said, I make him a new man and giving him a new heart, that he was actually going to do and fulfill all the things that he said he was going to do.
And all the people saw.
Right? They didn't trust that part. They only trust what they think. Yeah, if it was up to you, no. I think I mentioned this the other week. There's a Molly music song. It's Broken Spirit and Contrite Heart.
Oh, yeah. Just listen.
Yeah, and he says, he's singing, and in the part of the song, he's like ad-libbing and singing, and he says, you can take me, you can fix me, you can make it better. Not you, not you, not you, not you, not you, no, him. He's literally saying, like, I know I'm jacked up, but the happy part of me is that, but you can do it.
Yes.
You can do it. And I think with all of us, we should look at each and every one of us in here and say, he can do it. I may not see how he can do it. You may not see how he can do it. But if I'm praying for you and I'm trusting that he can do it, then he's going to do it. If it's his will.
Yes.
And then I need to stand behind what his decision is at the same time. So it says that, and they despised him and brought him no presents, but he held his peace. The held his peace part, my favorite part. Because one of the things that we think is, when somebody holds their peace, they think, oh, I'm just holding it in and I'm not saying anything, and I'm not going to act on what I've seen.
I'm building a case.
That's not Hebrew. Oh, no. I'm not forgetting this. You will never fight with me. You will never be in this inner circle. No. The word is the word harush. He made. Let me write it down for you guys first. We'll get him. Het. Resh. Shin. You see that? You said the head.
You make his head.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going Donald Trump this time.
Yeah, Donald Trump.
Watch this.
Here we go. Oh, you
I'm
get better. Look at it. Look at her. Yeah. Fresh.
And then, so the het, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm writing in English. The het is fence, wall, separation. It says, and he held his peace. Everybody be like, oh, shalom. No. The word is not shalom. See, every time the word peace is used, not shalom.
Right.
He held his peace. Het, fence, wall, separation. Immediately separate myself from that.
Wow.
Resh, and I'm gonna give you the two letter. Reshin is the word rosh. It actually means head. Right? Head and eat, consume, destroy. He was like, oh, no.
I'm gonna separate.
The word is literally to take something, to scratch it, or to cut it or engrave it. Noted.
Noted.
That's what the word literally means.
Whoa.
I am separating this moment, these people, these heads in my mind, and y'all's gonna deal with it.
Deal with it later.
I'm just giving you. I'm just gonna fast forward a little bit. Next week, the men who were with him said, "Should we just kill him?"
Right.
That's
his band.
That's
his
band. When Yah's gonna show up, and he's gonna work out a work.
right now.
And the men with him, after Yah shows that he did choose Saul,
That's
the
what
men
his
with him
band's
said,
for.
"Remember the men from the last chapter? Let's go kill him." He was
Let's
like,
go
"Oh,
get
wait,
it.
whoa."
Let's go handle
It was noted. It wasn't forgotten.
That gonna be a
It wasn't he
problem.
held his peace and he was like, "Shalom.
Right.
No.
You gotta take this out of my mind.
No.
People are against me."
Noted. We're gonna
No,
deal with y'all
if you
later.
ever read what David said about his enemies, what David said. David said, "Oh yeah, how long?
How long?
When are you going to?
The snare
How long will
they
you let
set
the
for
people
me.
who set up the snare for me? They've taken crafty counsel." Yeah, Psalm 83:3 against your chosen ones.
Right.
Oh wait, why not make their path slippery? Why not make? He was like,
Let me
"Did
Do something
you?"
now. Yeah.
Right? He was like,
Give me permission.
seriously, they're vexing me because see, David was sensitive. David dealt with depression. We'll talk about that in maybe in a Koti chat.
Okay.
And I'll do it on dealt with depression and other things. And people didn't know that because David was David. And so he was like, "Oh, they don't know that my heart is all hurt."
Yes. That's why.
And then they gonna tell me.
Right.
And so when people, because it was chosen, it was known. It wasn't not known, just like people who Saul was chosen. When people came against him, he didn't know what to do. He was like, "Yeah, kill him. No, because I'm just trying to follow you."
Right.
And this is so the same thing. It was he held his peace. Vengeance is mine, saith Yah. I can't do anything, right? But Yah made sure that in this situation with Saul, that Saul dealt wisely. He was using still the authority within. He didn't say kill them all because he could have, as a king,
He could have
right? The people that are against the king, if you have people in the kingdom against you, you can't kill them.
Right.
Like, oh, you're not with Yah, because that's what they were saying.
Right.
Kill them then. He was like, nope.
Noted. And his boy say, "Well,
And that's how the chapter ends.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it ends. Noted. We have to be mindful in the process to know exactly where Yah is. And that's the part of seeking Yah's heart. We're not just seeking Yah's heart for ourselves, we're seeking Yah's heart for everything and everyone around us. And looking out for and being mindful of the people that Yah has banded you together with. Right? Like this is it's a forever thing. And I'm mentioning that because in sisterhood, that it should be a forever thing.
Right.
Like I said, it just should be.
It should be.
Because that's the part of knowing that Yah's put you with the person. If Yah hasn't, then yeah, whatever, right? But when it comes to when Yah links you together with people, it's literally, I hate to say it like this, it sounds so outside of our culture, it's literally till death. Brotherhood in our culture was till death. Why? Because we went out and we fought and we may die, literally shed this physical earth suit together. Sisterhood is the same way. There's no different.
Right.
It's absolutely no different.
Back to back.
And that shows up in different ways in our experience. And because a lot of us have not experienced that, or we don't embrace it when it comes, then we miss out on an opportunity to see really what Yah can do when he joins us all together and we all operate as one toward one function. My function is not my thing. Like that's what people often think, that, oh, that's her thing. No. Like it's our thing. And literally being here, supporting, coming, praying, that makes it our thing. And then in the greater body, it's our thing. Like I know this is my home, but now that my home has been open to you all when you're here, this is also your home. So then when I see you guys do it, when new people come in, you're like, oh, the bathroom's right here. Oh, this is where you're gonna play. That's how it's supposed to be.
Right.
I wouldn't let you in my home if it wasn't not gonna be our home. I'm letting you into a very intimate space.
Sanctuary.
Like I live here. Like literally, this is where I study. This is where I write. This is where I pray. This is where I cry. In this space, and that's why when I know you guys like, it's tight in here, but it's a space that I prepared. Especially, this is where like it happens in here. Like all of the intimate spiritual parts of my life happen right here in this space. Prayer rug. I lay out on that part. I cry right here. My room faces this window on purpose. Like everything about this space is exactly the way it is because it is, and you guys are in this space. You bring your energy into this space so that as I war and battle and cry and pray throughout the week, I can see each of you in this space. And it gives me reason and purpose for why I do what I do. And that sounds like heavy deep, but I'm not that deep. But I was like, wow, where did she go? I have to make a joke because I know it's really awkward when it goes in that space.
It's fine.
But that's real. It's really real for me. And I don't express that enough. I don't take for granted when you guys drive down here, or when you cook, or when you come and hang out and wear onesies. And all of that stuff. Like, Chawad literally opens her home like, hey, if you need to just get out of your space. Like, these things are not taken lightly because it's heavy. Literally, I'm often hiding amongst the stuff.
No.
Often. Yep. Often. Like, ooh, you don't even know. And so, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay,